Okay, moving on to verse 10. Verse 10 says, how was it reckoned? So Paul is asking the question, how was it reckoned? How was Abraham reckoned to be righteous? He says, how was it reckoned? When he was in circumcision or uncircumcision or in uncircumcision? He says not in circumcision but in uncircumcision. So before he was righteous, Abraham was righteous before the circumcision, before he received the sign of circumcision. He was righteous. The Most High counted him righteous because he believed in the promise that the Most High told him, gave him. That's how he was. That's what made him righteous. The Most High recognized him as being righteous by believing in him. So it's the same thing here as being uncircumcised. You could be righteous being uncircumcised because you believe in Yahushua. You believe in the Son of the Most High. Okay? Not by the act of circumcision, not by the act. The act of circumcision was a sign that that Abraham was righteous. So he was righteous before he was circumcised. And then circumcision came. Then he was circumcised. Then the Most High gave him circumcision as a seal or as a sign that he was righteous. Okay? Verse 11. And he received the sign of circumcision. See? And he received the sign of circumcision, a seal of righteousness of the faith which he had yet been uncircumcised, that he might be the father of all them that believe, though they be not circumcised, that righteousness might be imputed unto them also. Okay? So, that righteousness might be also imputed unto them. All right? Moving on. Verse 12. And the father of circumcision to them who are not of the circumcision only. See? So not only of the circumcision that the Pharisees they were pushing heavily. You know, you had to be circumcised, or there is no chance for you. Okay? So the Most High is so good and so righteous and so just that he wanted all the children of Israel to receive the promise. That's why Yahushua came and died, so that all the children of Israel will receive the promise which was given to Abraham, okay, which is to inherit the kingdom of heaven. Not only the kingdom of heaven, but to receive all the blessings. Okay? And to receive the earth. The earth is the inheritance of Abraham. So all the children of Israel, it has the right. For you not to, the way this is written, for the children of Israel not to receive the kingdom of heaven or to receive the earth as an inheritance, they must not want it. They must like, I do not want this. I don't want it at all. I don't know part of it, and totally reject it for them not to have it. That's the only way. You have to reject it yourself, being a child, a son of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. That's the only way you can get it. That's the only way you cannot receive it, is if you don't want to receive it. This is what it actually is saying. That's why Yahushua came to make it sure, to make the promise of the Most High sure. Okay, so verse 12, I read verse 12. Okay, verse 12. I didn't read verse 12 yet. And the father of circumcision to them whom are not of the circumcision only, but who also walk in the steps of that faith of our father Abraham, which he had been yet uncircumcised. So Abraham had the faith of the Most High before he was circumcised. So Paul is showing them that the circumcision is not it. So circumcision is the act after the fact. He was righteous before. So the righteousness is what the Most High is actually looking at. He was righteous before, through faith, before the circumcision. So it's not the circumcision or the act of the circumcision, although it is a covenant of the Most High that he gave to Israel. Okay, he gave to Abraham, and for Abraham to give to his descendants, to the 12 tribes. Okay, because in Genesis it says that anyone who was not circumcised transgressed the covenant. He broke the law. So this is the law Yahushua came to cover, to shield us from. That's why anyway, let me move on. It's gonna explain itself. The scripture is gonna explain itself. Verse 13. For the promise that he should be the heir of the world. See, he will inherit the world. Abraham was supposed to inherit the world, not just a certain part of the world. So, it's not just Israel. The world, the whole entire world. Now, this world could be twofold. It could be the world of the nation of Israel, or it could be the actual world. So, I believe it's both. It's both the world of Israel and the entire world, because everything is given unto Abraham. And we will all become joint heirs with Abraham. That's what this is going on, because we are the sons of Abraham, or the children of Abraham. For the promise that he should be the heir of the world was not to Abraham or to his seed through the law. See that? Abraham wasn't promised through the law, that through the law of circumcision that he would be the heir. It wasn't through the act of circumcision Abraham would be, inherit the kingdom of heaven or the world. But to his belief, to the righteousness, to his belief in the Most High's word, he became righteous. Okay? That's what's going on. See? So let me read that again. For the promise that he should be the heir of the world was not to Abraham or his seed through the law. Let's move on to let's continue here. But through the righteousness of faith. So this is how we receive the promise. Through the righteousness of faith. Not through the circumcision. The circumcision is just a sign. Okay? The circumcision is just a sign. So verse 14. Verse 14 says, For if they which are of the law be heirs. Okay? So Paul is making a statement right here in Romans. He says, For if they which are of the law be heirs, faith is made void. So meaning, if circumcision, or the Pharisees, right? The Pharisees are of the law, meaning of circumcision. Their whole mantra was circumcision, circumcision. So if it was of circumcision, right? For if they which are of the law, meaning the Pharisees, be heirs, faith is made void. That means faith is useless. faith has no effect if circumcision was the way to receive righteousness or to receive justification of righteousness. Faith would be void, right? And the promise made of none effect, so that means the promise would be no use. So that means anybody could just receive circumcision for any nation or any, and they said, oh yes, I am circumcised, I'm justified. But that's not how it works. So the Most High making it sure to the children of Israel. So that's why it's written like this. That's why it's written like this. Because the law worketh wrath, right? The law does work wrath. Because what does the law say? Matter of fact, I think I should get it. Because anybody transgress the law, the wages of sin is death. So you transgress the law, you will receive death. So that goes back to the circumcision. Any man who was not circumcised, right, according to the scripture, he is worthy of death. He is worthy of death. And this is why Christ came, to do away with that sentence of death of not being circumcised. This is why Christ came. This is why the Most High sent. For the Most High so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, to fulfill that scripture. This is why Christ came. So the Most High loved the nation of Israel so much. That's the word he was talking about. That he gave his only begotten Son. So whosoever believeth in him, whosoever is of the children of Israel, whosoever is the sons of Jacob, right? Whosoever of the children of Israel believe in him shall not perish but have an everlasting life. This is what this is going into. That's why I said this is a very profound chapter. You must understand Romans 4 to get the whole gist of the whole, that everything that's written according to about Yahushua and why he came. Okay, so let me get okay, hold on here for this. Yeah, let me get Genesis. I think it's chapter 15. Okay, Genesis chapter 15. Oh boy, I'll take my time with this. Genesis chapter 15. Okay, here we are. Genesis chapter 15. No, sorry. Genesis chapter 17. That's the scripture I want. Okay, Genesis 15 and 10. I'm going to just read. Not 15, sorry, 17. Okay, this is where the promise is made. We go into the promise. This is very important to understand. Okay. All right. Yes, Genesis 17 and 10. Okay. Hold on 1 second. Okay. All right. Genesis chapter 17 and verse 10. It says, "This is my covenant which ye shall keep between me and you." So the Most High is making a covenant between Abraham and himself. "And thy seed after thee." So whosoever is coming out of Abraham after thee, his seed, his descendants, his offspring, every man child among you shall be circumcised. Okay? That's the covenant the Most High made with Abraham, or the contract. See? And the Most High makes righteous contracts. And he keeps them. Not like nowadays, people make contracts and it's wicked, it's only for their profit and it's not for your profit. See, this profit was for Abraham. See, Abraham will profit from this contract and his seed, which is Israel. All right, so let's move on. "And ye shall circumcise the flesh off your foreskin, and it shall be a token of the covenant betwixt me and you. Okay, so that's the deal right there, between me and you. And he that is 8 days old shall be circumcised among you, every man child in your generations. Meaning every generation come after Abraham must be circumcised. And this is where the Pharisees based in all their belief on. See? He that is born in the house or bought with money of any stranger which is not of thy seed. So everybody had to be circumcised. Even the servants, they had to be circumcised as well. Okay? Because we had to be called a holy people. So everybody had to be circumcised, even the servants. Okay? So let's move. I'm going to jump. Okay, when it talks about the breaking. Okay, verse 13. Jump to verse 13. Let me adjust this camera a little bit. Okay. Okay, verse 13. He that is born in thine house, and he that is bought with thy money, must need be circumcised, and my covenant shall be in your flesh, an everlasting covenant. All right. So let's move on down again. Trying to work the camera at the same time. Okay. Just bear with me a second. I'm not new to this camera, how to use making videos with this camera. Okay. So verse 14. Hope you can see it. Verse 14. Maybe I should go in a little more. Okay, verse 14. And the uncircumcised man child, whose flesh of his foreskin is not circumcised, that soul shall be cut off from his people. He had broken my covenant. Okay, so that's where they were basing everything on. That the man child that was not circumcised, he has broken the Most High's covenant. Okay? And that's the law. So this is why Christ came to die, so that the children who were not circumcised, Christ came to die for sin in general, or any type of sin. But this is the main one he came to die for. For the children that was not circumcised, that they would not be in transgression. Okay? Because anybody who was not circumcised is supposed to be cut off, meaning supposed to die. That's what that cut off means. He has broken my covenant. That's why the scripture says, let's go back to Romans chapter 4. Okay. That's why it says what it says in Romans 4. Okay. Let's go back to Romans chapter 4. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay. I'll move this up a little bit. Okay. Bring it in a little more. Okay. Okay. And that's why it also says Abraham of way off to glory, because he said the law worketh wrath. Okay, verse 15. Because the law worketh wrath. See, that's why he said the wrath. I just read it there in Genesis 17. Okay, Genesis chapter 17, I think it was 14. The law worketh wrath, meaning he has to be cut off if you were not circumcised. So the law worketh wrath, or if you broke the law, because once you receive the sign of circumcision, you will You were in debt. You had to fulfill all the law. You have to fulfill the whole law. And if you didn't fulfill the whole law, that means you broke the covenant. You broke the deal. Okay? You broke the contract. That's what that is saying. So Christ came so that you would not break the contract. So he died to do away with this law so that you would not be in transgression, or you would not be in sin, or you would not be cut off. Verse 15, because the law worketh wrath, for where no law is, there is no transgression. So for that law, for us not to be in transgression of being uncircumcised, right? Yahushua had to die. Yahushua came to die. The Most High sent Yahushua to die so that we would not be in transgression of the law. Otherwise, most of us alive today would be dead. Okay? Therefore, it is of faith that it might be by grace to the end the promise might be sure to all the seed. That's very important right here. So that the promise might be sure to all the seed. What seed? The seed of Abraham, the 12th tribe of Israel. So you see? So that it will be sure the Most High want all his children to be saved, to be sealed, to receive the inheritance. See? So like I said, for you not to receive the promise is because you blatantly don't want it. The Most High want to be sure to all the seed. That's what this is talking about. Okay? Let's move on. Not to that which is of the law, not to that only which is of the law, meaning not only to the Pharisees, because even though the Pharisees gave Yahushua a hard time when he was on the earth, the Most High still sent Yahushua to die for them as well too. They were also in transgression as well. See, because they believe in the circumcision, and the circumcision would not save them. See? So Yahushua, they were all also counted as, although they count themselves righteous because they were circumcised, they thought, okay, they're not in transgression. Okay? But to their unbelief make them in transgression. That's why the scriptures say what it says. And there's a lot more scriptures going into this topic. Okay? Paul spoke extensively on this thing here. Okay? So I'm going to read on. Not to that only which is of the law, meaning the Pharisees, not only to them, but to that also which is of faith, the faith of Abraham, who is the father of us all. See, Abraham the father of all the Israelites. You see, the Jews, the Pharisees, the ones who call the Gentiles, the ones who they call the Greek. You see, they were not Greek, they were just living in Greece, among the Grecians. But they were Israelites, just like today. We live among everybody. But we are not them, and they are not us. As it is written, I have made thee a father of many nations. And the many nations is not talking about other nations. The many nations is talking about the 12 tribes. Because in Genesis, the Most High promised that each tribe will be a nation. So this is the nations he was talking about. There's 12 nations. That's the many nations. I just have to put that in there so people wouldn't be confused again about this many nations thing. Abraham had many children, which are other nations today. He's not talking about them. Not Ishmael, who became the Ishmaelites and all this stuff. He's not talking about them. He's talking about the 12th tribe of Israel. Because back in Genesis, he said, take thy son. When the Most High told Abraham, take thy son, thy only son. And the Most High knew well Ishmael was also his son. But he was talking about the son of promise. His only son. He was talking about Ishmael. He wasn't talking about Ishmael. He was talking about Isaac. He was talking about Isaac. Sorry about that. He was talking about Isaac. He was not talking about Ishmael. He had other children beside Isaac. He had Ishmael and he had a whole bunch of other children. But they became other nations. He's not talking about them. He's talking about the son that came from Isaac, who came from Isaac, which is Jacob. And then Jacob had the 12 patriarchs, the 12 sons, which became the 12 tribes of Israel. Okay? This is bloodline. This whole thing here is bloodline. Abraham's bloodline. Okay? All the scriptures is concerning Abraham's bloodline. This is what it's about. It's not about religion. Religion, like I said, is a new invention. All new things shall pass away. Like in Ezekiel, what's that scripture? Ecclesiastes, right? Then, in Ecclesiastes, the Most High require that which is past. He's not dealing with new inventions. Okay? He's not dealing with new inventions. Ecclesiastes, let me get it right now. Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 15. It says, that which had been is now, and that which is to be has already been. And the Most High requireth that which is past. So that which is past is what the Most High has set up from the beginning. That's what he is requiring right now. He's not requiring anything new. There's nothing new. Okay? Except for these false religions and stuff. The Most High is not dealing with that. He's dealing with nationalities. He's dealing with the 12 tribes of Israel. Okay? He called everybody by their name, all nations. And he's dealing with the 12 tribes of Israel. And this is why Christ came. This is why Yahushua came, sorry. Okay? This is why Yahushua came. His rightful name is Yahushua. Okay? This is why Yahushua came. Verse 17. Now let me read this part again, verse 16. Move up a little bit. Therefore, it is of faith that it might be by grace, to the end that the promise might be sure to all the seed, not to that only which is of the law, meaning the Pharisees, because they were of the law of circumcision, not to that only, but to that also which is of faith of Abraham, which is of the faith of Abraham, who is the father of us all. See, he's the father of the 12 tribes of Israel. Okay, this is what it's making reference to. As it is written, I have made thee a father of many nations. The many nations is the 12 tribes, which shall become 12 nations. Each tribe shall become a nation. Before him whom he believed, okay, meaning the Most High, before him whom he believed, see, even the Most High, see, who quickeneth the dead and calleth those things which be not as though they were. So the Most High could call things that were not as though they were and they come forth. He will call a dead man back to life. Or he will just call something out and it will be created. Like he said, let there be light. He called it out and it was not and it became to pass. That's the Most High. The Most High has that kind of power. Okay? Only the Most High could do that. Right, verse 18. Who against hope believed in hope. See, against hope, meaning that he was making reference to his age. He had no hope at that age to have a child by natural means. Any man who's 100 years old, you don't see a 100-year-old man having babies. 99, 90, even 90-year-old, you don't see them having babies. Okay? So he was against hope. There was no hope. Like if people say you're hopeless, there's no hope for you. So people probably would look at Abraham like there's no hope for him to have a child anymore. But he believed he could still have a child because the promise of the Most High. The Most High gave him that promise, and he believed. See? Whom against hope believed in hope, that he might become the father of many nations. There you go. According to that which was spoken, so shall thy seed be. That goes back to Genesis chapter 15. Okay? So now, verse 19. And being not weak in faith, he considered not his own body now dead. You're not physically dead, but when you're that old, he like, he's saying he's dead, like close, not dead, but you're not vibrant like a young man. When he was about 100